What up, YouTube? It's your boy G11 back at it again with another episode of Homie Talk, where we have real discussion of real things happening right now. You guys seen the title, you seen the thumbnail, so you know we're talking about PPP loans today. But before we actually dig into the article in question, I got to bring up Pocket Watching with JT. I'm a big fan of his channel. If you guys haven't watched him, go check him out. I'm going to link him down in the description below. But he did a video not too long ago saying that people who did these loans are going to jail. Change his mind. And I don't think anyone successfully was able to change his mind about that topic. And I'm here to say, hey, he was right. This particular article I'm covering is about a married couple who decided to engage in fraud. But there's a reason why I wanted to cover this one. So without further ado, let's get to the article. So I pulled this up from the justice.gov website, and actually shout out to the wife because she's the one who sent me this article. This just happened on January 12th, 2022. Couple pleads guilty to $5.1 million pandemic loan fraud. This is out of Newport News, Virginia. So I'm going to start right down to the body. According to court documents, Malik Mitchum, 26, and Jenna Mitchum, 25, worked together to obtain disaster-related loan benefits in the form of Small Business Administration-sponsored Economic Industry Disaster Loans, or EIDL for short, and Paycheck Protection Program loans. So for you guys who are living under a rock, these loan programs were created by the federal government, I think between 2020 and 2021, for small businesses to pay for their expenses and pay for their employees during the pandemic because they couldn't afford it. You know, a lot of small businesses lost money, so this was created to help them out. And what it is it's a forgivable loan, almost kind of like a grant, right? I think really grant is the proper word, but because the smaller businesses won't have to pay it back, but they do have to show proof of using it on actual business expenses and to their employees. We'll dig down into that in a little bit. These programs, initiated and expanded under the CARES Act, are designed to provide support for small businesses for expenses related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Exactly what I just said. Malik and Jenna Mitchum falsely claimed that they were owners of at least 5 small businesses struggling during the pandemic. In reality, Malik Mitchum was a junior enlisted member of the Air Force, and Jenna Mitchum was unemployed. So this is the kicker, and this is what pisses me off, because this was done by a brother in arms. This was a active duty junior enlisted in the Air Force. So that means he was between E1 and E4. Most likely E3, A1C, which they don't get paid very bad, actually. And you married, he probably lived off base and got BAH and all that stuff. But here's my problem. I don't think he realized the full repercussion of what he was doing here, or how much he was actually risking, right? So there's a couple of different things that get affected by this. He will probably lose his security clearance. Okay, that's one. He probably will lose access to all military installations. Probably loses his TRICARE benefit. Most likely will also lose like GI Bill, like for college and all that stuff. And then, not to mention, now he has a federal record. He'll probably never be able to apply for the armed forces again. Not to mention, he'll be 56 by the time he gets out of prison. Which we'll dig down into that in a little bit too. But it's like, why risk all of that for a few bucks, my guy? Now, I mean, 5 million is a lot of money, but what is the point? Listen, y'all, us in the military, we never stop getting paid during the pandemic. The only time our paychecks are at risk is when the government is potentially going to shut down because they can't figure out a budget. That's the only time our paychecks are actually at risk. Other than that, we get paid every month on time. You know, not trying to give us up. Don't rob us. If you know someone in the military, don't rob them or ask for money, because we're not rich by any stretch of the imagination. But we never stopped getting paid. We were not hurt, okay? So that's why this one in particular really bothered me. And for those of you who don't know, one of the core values of the Air Force is integrity first, and this guy absolutely had none. Nor did his wife, because she went right along with the scheme. Now, at some point, one of them should have thought, we're trying to scam the federal government, the IRS. with the big database in the sky. Probably not a good idea. Anyways, that's my little spin on that. Let's continue down the article and see what actually happened. Between March 2020 and May 2021, Malik and Jenna Mitchum submitted at least minimum 19 fraudulent applications for pandemic-related loan benefits that contained false statements and misrepresentations about their income, employment, and claim business entities. They are further linked to more than 20 other fraudulent loan applications. And how did they get found out? By the IP address used to submit the applications or wire transfers of fraud proceeds. Idiots. So they didn't even think to use like a VPN to change the IP address or anything. These dummies, these dummies used the same computer in the same spot to do all of these applications. And you know what's funny? I think on Pocket Watching with JT's show, we talked about how people are getting caught. You know, one of the ways is when it comes tax time, and the business is filing their taxes, they're going to have to show that they issued like W-2s to their employees. I think for an employer, it's a W-5. But don't quote me on that. I am not a accountant or a business expert. You go look that up for yourself and let me know. But that was one of the ways, and a lot of people couldn't show actual business expenses. Because people were getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars from this program and just blowing it on dumb shit, buying cars, houses, Rolexes. Not even like just blowing the money, like really just blowing all the money on dumb shit. The IP address. So they intended to defraud the government out of more than 5.1 million and caused an actual loss to the United States and participating financial institutions of more than $1.4 million. Malik and Jenna Mitchum spent much of the fraud proceeds they obtained on luxury purchases, one of which being a Rolex for $38,000. How obnoxious is that? You a junior enlisted walking into your shop with a $38,000 Rolex. Listen, you guys can go online and Google enlisted pay charts. You can see how much we make by rank, and we don't make enough to afford a $38,000 Rolex, okay? That's just, that's not going to happen. But this dummy went and bought it and started flossing. I bet you I don't know if he has an Instagram or Facebook or anything, but I'm pretty sure these sound like the individuals that would be active on social media showing that kind of stuff off and then making themselves easy money for the government, anybody else that wants to know what they're doing. Let's continue and finish up. Malik and Jenna Mitchum pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud affecting a financial institution. They both face a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison. They are scheduled to be sentenced on July 29th. Actual sentences for federal crimes are typically less than the maximum penalty. A federal district court judge will determine any sentence after taking into account the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. But still, guys, my whole thing is, why even risk it? You're an active duty Air Force member and you're going to give up all your benefits for a couple of bucks. So this is a specific firm, I believe, that investigates it. But they talk about the different things down here. Like they explain what it looks like and the different charges that someone could get. So you got wire fraud, bank fraud, false statement to a financial institution, conspiracy to commit fraud. You could get slapped so many different ways on this kind of stuff that it's not even funny. All for what? For a few extra bucks? In Rolex? That's pretty much it. I'm going to link the original article down in the description below. Tell me what you guys think about it. Do you guys know anybody who tried to get you guys involved in this PPP loan fraud nonsense? Have you guys actually done it? Have you gotten a letter from the IRS saying it's time to pay up? Let me know down in the comment box below. Hit the like and subscribe button for the algorithm. And until next time, folks, peace.